So today we bring you a gripping tale of two suspensions. One from the seat of governance in Rivers State and the other from the hallowed chambers of the Senate. Governor Sim Fubara and Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, two leaders, two battles, two outcomes. What lessons can Nigerians draw from their stories? So let's unveil the truth. First, let's start with the Fubara suspension. 6 months ago, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu declared a state of emergency in Rivers State, effectively suspending Governor Fubara from exercising power. Many thought that was the end of the road for him. His House of Assembly, they were against him, and impeachment was loading. And the political ground under his feet was shaking. But in came President Tinubu, playing the role of an umpire. He cooled the storm, froze the crisis, and gave Fubara a lifeline. So let's fast forward to today. Sim Fubara is back. He didn't just return because he shouted louder. He returned because, he embraced reconciliation. He bent when it mattered. He allowed wisdom to guide him. Today, he is back in Port Harcourt Government House. Not by force, but by strategy. Now, let's look at the Natasha suspension. When I no agree turns to fire. So flip the coin. On the same timeline 6 months ago, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan was suspended by the Nigerian Senate for breaking parliamentary rules. Her case was not political reconciliation but disciplinary sanction. Recently, the clerk of the Senate issued a directive. Natasha cannot resume until the court determines her matter. And unlike Fubara, who had the president to shield him, Natasha must now rely on the slow wheels of justice. Her approach, I no agree. They say now they tear cloth. And like the Nigerian proverb says rightly, the cloth is torn. Instead of cooling down the temperature, Natasha took the other road. Confrontation, laid unsubstantiated allegations, sexual allegations against the Senate president. She challenged the leadership of the Senate and went head to head with the Senate rules, and now finds herself locked out of the red chambers. So why the comparison? Fubara's suspension was a matter of the state of security in the state. And of course, it ended up being political. Natasha was procedural. Fubara survived because he chose reconciliation over resistance. He humbled himself before the realities of power and kept the lines of dialogue open. Natasha, on the other hand, doubled down on defiance, making her case more complex. The Senate is not just about lawmaking. It is a club of rules, hierarchy, and respect. So when you fight it from inside, you risk being crushed by its machinery. Fubara understood that politics is a game of chess. Natasha played it like a boxing ring. The lesson: wisdom is always the best weapon. Both suspensions show us that in Nigeria politics, wisdom saves more than shouting. Reconciliation may look like weakness, but in truth, it is strength. Fubara is walking free in Rivers today because he mastered patience. Natasha is still outside the Senate chambers because she chose a different confrontational road. The parable remains: I no agree, now they tear cloth. So sometimes the smartest move is not to flex muscles, but to bend just enough so you don't break. This is Truth Unveiled. My name is Osigo Moikroda. I'm the principal and CEO of Bush Radio Academy. Remember, power is not just about noise, it's about wisdom. The tale of two suspensions reminds us that while defiance may win applause in the moment, reconciliation wins survival in the long run. So stay tuned, my people. The truth will always be unveiled.